Hey guys, welcome back to Crossbar, your weekly fix of football. In this episode, we'll be talking about confirmed transfers and rumors. So let's start with the big one, Karthik. Aubameyang signing a 3-year deal with Arsenal. Finally, I think approximately earning £350,000 per week.
So that makes him now equivalent to Ozil. He's the highest paid player in Arsenal.
So what does this have impact on Arsenal, Karthik, now?
I think that sort of solves a lot of situations, right? And he's come out and said that he signed that deal because he wants to be a legend.
Oh yeah.
In Arsenal, and we all know he's breaking all records what Thierry Henry did. But then his era was different. He played with such good players in the Arsenal team, and Aubameyang, they're still building the team. So that's pretty good news for Arsenal. I think it was. After the FA Cup win and the Community Shield, we sort of knew that he's gonna sign it, and the idea of how Arteta playing. So yeah, I mean, good news for Arsenal fans. I hope they are happy.
Yeah, I think this is one thing that we were also talking about predictions when we did that this would be a big hurdle if Arsenal did not sign him, and then this happened. I think this would definitely be a resolved issue now. I think Arteta would go ahead with his planning. Now he knows his attack is fixed. So let's move to Barcelona, Karthik. Apparently, Depe has agreed on personal terms with Barcelona. The deal will be signed for 25 million euros. Do you think this would happen? I think it's been prolonged for too long now.
I think Koeman is also a key factor here. He's managed Depe for the national team, so I think that would happen. He would be a pretty decent replacement for Suarez, up front. But yeah, again, similar to what we are seeing in Chelsea as well. So a lot of Barcelona players are leaving. There's a lot of new players coming in, which would take time, for them to gel together, to play together. So let's see how that goes. Another they just confirmed about Miralem Pjanic, which we sort of knew, right, in the swap deal that they had. He's the new number 8. So do you think he will live up to that number which Iniesta?
Before you finish that question, no. I think also this would have been done a little earlier, but I think he contracted coronavirus. So this would have been public little more earlier. But I don't think so. He won't stay in that club that long. He's 30 now, Karthik, and probably good 3-4 years that he has, and I don't think so he'll be able to justify that number at that given time.
So let's talk about the major one that's been going on in the news, right? Gareth Bale.
Oh yeah.
So what are your thoughts on that? So he's been linked with, as always, United for I don't know how many years now, and then now Tottenham is also in the race, which sort of looks more likely. But what are your thoughts?
I think so a couple of signs. Real Madrid have taken his shirt off the store, so that has happened. So that is a clear indication right now. But wherever he moves, he's gonna take a heavy pay cut. That is the only way he would move from there. If he comes to Manchester United, that would be a plan B for Sancho. I don't know how well he would come back and play in Premier League, but he knows the challenges because he's been here already. Spurs also looks a good option. They are also anyways looking for looking out for a striker, and he would not fit in that exact role, but he would at least give them some options if
Right.
unfortunately.
And then reuniting with Jose Mourinho as well, right? So that's the other thing. There's also talks of Dele Alli being included in the team, which we've seen his form drop. We've seen he's also been injured a lot last year. So would that be a good signing for Real Madrid?
Thing with Dele Alli right now is because he's injured, so I think his value would come down a lot because he's not performed. If he could stay for one more year there and just regain his form, especially the form which he had when they went to Champions League finals, that form if he regains, and then his value would increase, and then he would have more to bargain than right now. I don't think so he has a spot right now where he can just come in and play in Real Madrid. He has to still sit on the bench. Where if he does that for one more season, then his value would definitely come down. It won't be an intelligent move for me.
But my other thought also is, where does he fit in that Real Madrid team, right? There's Casemiro and Modric, who sort of play more, a little more defensive than Dele Alli likes. He doesn't play a lot on the wings. Let's see if that happens, but I think it's just gonna be a straight cash deal instead of a swap deal. But we'll just have to wait and see how, if that happens, how Dele Alli fits in.
Yeah, and talking about cash and swap deals, we also heard this rumor about Barkley and Declan Rice. You would know the Chelsea rumor. Let's see if that happens. How true do you think that is now? But because I know Barkley should leave Chelsea as fast as possible.
See, I mean, I think I don't know if West Ham is keen on that move, first of all, and we also read about, there's something going on at West Ham which, like as of now they are quoting 80 million for Declan Rice, and so he wants to come back to Chelsea. He knows, he's played with Mount, Abraham, in the youth team, so he wants to come back. It's just that, they are also hoping that Declan Rice goes out and says, I want to leave, put in a transfer request, so that makes it a little easier, brings his value down. But if Barkley, if he has to go, that's also fine with me, of course. And we have a big midfield now, like so many midfield players right now. So let's see if that goes through. But the last I know, they're not pretty keen on Barkley being included in the team.
Talking about Everton now, Karthik. So the recent numbers have come up for James Rodriguez. And the numbers that were given initially, apparently he has come much more cheaper than that. He has taken a huge pay cut. I think he is just getting £80,000 wages now. Probably that is what he had to do to be consistent in the first team. And for both of us, I think he would be a signing of this league, and at that kind of price point, if he comes in, that was a bargain for them.
I mean, that's also the thing with Real Madrid is, right? I mean, when they sign players, they give you such a huge salary package, which becomes difficult if you do not perform in that team, and then you're just stuck there. And that's what's happening with Bale as well, which we discussed, right? He's earning almost 450 or 400. He's almost earning $350,000, which is almost earning 350,000 euros, which is not cheap, and definitely nobody is gonna pay that much. And especially he's not been playing, almost not playing. He's just been playing golf. So that's what happened, and I think it was time for Rodriguez. He was fed up, just being at Madrid. So he thought it's better to just move and probably play well, and then move again.
And also he had a really nice opening game, so I think I hope this season goes well for him. Just moving to the other side of Liverpool, talking about Thiago now. So Manchester United has come up saying that Thiago's agents are building this connection with Manchester United to put pressure on Liverpool to make sure that he goes to Liverpool, and that is something that we always know, right? So there's anybody who moves, there's always connection with Manchester United. Do you think this would still happen? He would go to Liverpool?
He still might. Liverpool need him, but then they also don't want to pay a high price for him, which I think there's a difference of about 5 million. Liverpool say that they're not going to pay more than 30 million. They're asking at least 35. So there's that difference, but it still might happen. It's transfer window is still open for almost another month, about 20 days. So it still might happen, but let's see if he comes in, then that midfield that they have becomes even more stronger. He has more options already. Like Lallana has left, and then you also have Wijnaldum links with Barcelona. So if he goes as well, then there is a sort of a hole in that midfield. So he would fit in well there. So let's see if that happens.
And finishing off with the saga of Sergio Reguilon, or Reguilon, I don't know how to what is the correct pronunciation of that. But now he's again, so there were links with Manchester United, now he's linked with Spurs as well.
Strong links, right? And I think the only issue with that, I mean, what I've read is he is keen on a move to Manchester United, but Madrid again wants to insert a buyback clause there.
Yeah.
Which United doesn't want at all, because it might come back to haunt them, of course, right? So, but it would be. I think it would be good business for Spurs. What do you think about that? How will that?
I think what is happening with in his case is Real Madrid is trying to sell him to a lot of so they are giving this offer to a lot of clubs because they want to. So he was already on loan in Sevilla, so now they want to sell him. So in that case, what is happening is now the club has an option of whether they want to buy him or not, and that's the reason why he's still in limbo. But if he comes in, he did really well in Sevilla. But I think the only problem here is, as you said, the buyback clause, and there might be other things that we don't know. But this is what is coming out now.
And I think it would be a good move for Spurs as well if that happens, right? So Jose Mourinho wants tapping fullbacks. He's already got Doherty, who is great going forward. Bino Reguilon is really good as well. So his fullback positions will be sorted if that happens. Maybe Spurs need it more than United, probably. But let's wait and watch where he ends up.
So with that, guys, we'll wrap up this episode. If you like this episode and if you want to watch, please hit the like button and please show some love by subscribing to the channel. Thank you so much for watching. Bye bye.
Cheers.